is a journey of self-discovery for all of us and all of you. Welcome to The Circle.
In this crazy world.
So guys, let's get right into it. I mean, we live in a very patriarchal society, like especially as Africans, where the man is the head of the household, you take his culture and everything of that nature. I mean, for the modern day women, is it okay to make the first move? How do the ladies feel about it, and how do the guys feel about it?
I know, right?
I'll start with the ladies. One of the ladies needs to start.
So, I don't find anything wrong with the woman saying to a man, I like you and maybe we should go out on a date. A lot of the times you're made to feel like, I always say this to my mom. My mom always says to me, oh, what kind of man is going to marry you? You don't want to do this, you don't want to do that. And I'm just like, but my life is not an audition for marriage also. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if I like a guy, well, if he makes the first move, great. If he doesn't, if I'm bold enough, then I'll do it. And half the time it works for some women, other times it doesn't. But it's also a confidence thing.
Right.
But I completely find nothing wrong with that. In these days and ages, girl, get your life.
I'm good. No. Two points. One of you said you're not in an audition for marriage. But we are in an audition for marriage. When we meet you, you see us as potential husbands, don't you?
I don't. When I see a man,
You don't ever?
no. So what I meant was,
Yeah.
when I say my life is not an audition for marriage,
Yes.
I come from the point of view that when you're raised as a girl, you're
told
raised
that
a certain way, and
constantly.
you're told constantly, who's gonna marry you when you behave like this? And I'm just like, can I not behave like this because I want to behave like this, not because.
Okay, do you want to get married? Do you want to get married?
I mean, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But it's
hear
not something I walk around.
I hear that a lot.
I'm not desperate. I don't know.
Women of today, I think if I'm going to work, it's for my achievement.
Yeah.
It's not because, I want to be working material. I don't believe in the term working material. That's not
Do you understand it?
what does it matter? Why does it have to
No, do you ever? No, I'm just asking. Do you see yourself having a family one day as in a positive sense? Do you
It's
wanna-
honestly so. It's not like my daily mind thought. Like I don't think, one day I'm gonna get a husband and have kids. Like I don't think about it. Like
Even though
Our end goals are not the same, you know?
Right, that's
Everybody's
what
got
we're
their own
trying-
objective.
Yeah, we're trying to determine
I think,
for the modern day women and men, especially given our cultures, those gender roles, do they still play a role?
Yeah, I think there's a perception.
Sorry.
Go
No, I
ahead.
was saying, like you're saying, as you're getting older, are you feeling it more and more? And that does happen. I mean, obviously, every woman is very different. I can only speak for myself. I'm 29, and the older I'm getting, actually, the more I'm like, I kind of like my life. Yeah. And like, kids sound expensive and a lot of work, and like, soon as they pop out, you never have your life again. And I think the older I'm getting, and the more I'm establishing myself and creating a life for myself, I'm actually not having that like brooding feeling and that biological clock ticking.
That scares me.
Okay, be scared, but you have nothing to do with my life.
But to be fair, you did ask perspective, like from a man's perspective and from a
And
girl's
woman's
perspective.
really,
So he then is to also say
Right.
his point of view.
And it scares me. It scares me if now the current woman is someone who doesn't see the positive part of wanting to have kids. Women that are not wanting kids. What as a society, what does that end up
We're not like-
leaving us?
we're
You know?
not just
Because
here
look,
to
I'm not saying we're just here to breed, but but you know what? I know, but you know what? Females
autonomous.
have that family adding aspect. I don't know what it is. They make the house warm. You know, there's a role women have that now you're starting to abandon.
Oh, you dirty.
But now,
But y'all
Now
did
that's-
abandon that.
I'm loving this.
that's a
I want to
all
go.
the time.
What do we abandon?
You abandon homes all the time.
That's another thing.
nobody's saying that women don't want to have kids or want to have friends. It's just that
But the question was
today it's not a society. It's not my core function as a human being to be a wife and a mother. I have other goals that I want to achieve as a woman, not as a mother or a wife. We're just at that point as a woman where we can be liberated and independent without the aid of a man.
And then how do you see maybe our elders that had 4 children that were raised by them? Do you look up to that? Do you not see them as people having want to do their own thing maybe?
No, it's a different generation. They had different aspects. I don't see, like, I find that life not attractive at all. Like, I don't.
So I feel like this is where the constant barrage also comes, at play. This whole westernization of our indigenous cultures in Africa. It's causing a lot of confusion and a lot of turmoil amongst us. I mean, Jake's response to the response of the ladies who have articulated now is a common sort of thread or theme amongst African men. This is the perspective we have to say, what's wrong with these women that are moving this way or moving that way? Because of the patriarchal, nature of who we are. We can't help but be misogynistic or macho or feel like, you're kind of being wayward. And I also feel being wayward with not wanting to, get to that point of our, culture teaches us to love life, to nurture it, and to be communal together. And without that, without wanting to go in that direction of, doing that, it feels like for us, some of us Africans, like we're breaking the home apart. And, that rare species is coming to us, I feel, even at a quicker pace because of all of the confusion, because we're getting a new dynamic culture of this century. It's some metamorphosized thing that we nobody even knows what it is. And I feel like ladies a lot of the time will say they don't want family, they don't want a wedding and whatever, but unconsciously or subconsciously they're busy, sending out the message to say, hey, I want a husband, in the way they act, from the home to, the communication that you have with your parents, communication that you have with your girlfriends, it's always more or less subconsciously, we're being driven in a certain way. You have 2 kids, go live in a city, stuff like that.
Okay. Sorry, am I
So bad. Not to be general. So this is all economic. You do what needs to be done so you can get what you want. That's how you're incentivized. His question was, do you want a husband? If you wanted a husband, you would do what needs to be done to attract a husband. So what you're saying right now is, I don't want a husband. That's cool. I'm okay with that. If you like me, for example, and you want me to be your husband, certain things between us will change. I'll do certain things to attract you, and you'll do certain things to attract me so we can get together. Right now, you don't want a husband, so you don't care. But if there was something that you wanted, you would mold, you will change. People change. Right now, you're okay with, this is fine. You'll meet someone that's going to be like, I like a woman with short hair. Whether you do it or not, it's up to you, but he's told you your preference. How much you're willing to lose or gain to get him is up to you. You don't want a husband right now. You meet a guy tomorrow, he says, I like women with short hair. You're cutting your hair because you love him. On a personal level, you will change. You will incentivize that aspect, and you will. So we're being general in saying what men will do, what women will do, but on a personal level, at some point you're gonna want something that's gonna have to make you typical. I'm very untypical. You know how women say you attract a man with your food and all these good things. A couple of years ago, men were useless. We couldn't do anything without women. Right now, we can do everything.
You are naturally.
We can do everything. I don't need much. I want.
Okay, I can say that.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
I can say that, but I can also say that women can also do everything.
And that's good.
Men. Now, takes me to my next question. Is it important who makes more money in the relationship? Do men care? And as women, we've kind of all been taught to care, right? But we're at that point where we're like, no, we don't care.
In this crazy world.